many men that have been alienated from their kids because of an upset ex-wife or because of an upset baby mother. This is for the fathers that want to be in their kids' lives, that want a loving relationship with their children.
So first, the end product of parental estrangement.
Kel Mitchell's daughter Allure is blasting him for being an absentee father. Allure posted pictures with her dad on TikTok. This one says, quote, "I'm not a normal dad, I don't work a 9 to 5. In the next picture she writes, "So you're saying you don't have time for me?" And this one says, "Allure, I'm an actor." Along with the picture, she shared a very lengthy caption where she describes her father as being absent while growing up and only supporting her financially, not emotionally.
Okay, so she's going to go through part of the TikTok where the daughter was talking about how, things were when, the father wasn't there. But what you have to remember in this situation was that after a divorce, they were separated, right? Or the children were separated, right? And we'll get to what happened in that situation. But again, this is the end product of parental estrangement, right? She's upset.
You can pause to read the whole caption, but she says, "My father is the type of man to fake as if he's in my life, but he's not. He was there financially. What I mean by that is that he only paid for what in my eyes looked good on paper. And that now she lives..."
Okay, so I'll show you this a little bit larger so you can see it. So she said, "He was there financially. What I mean by that is he only paid for what in my eyes looked good on paper. He helped pay for my first car, my high school tuition, my housing on campus, until I cut him off for exactly this." Okay. So the daughter's pretty upset, and you're going to see why she's upset when you hear Keenan tell the story of meeting his children for the first time after not seeing them for 6 years. Court docs detail reunification therapy session between Kel and his kids in 2012. Now court documents show Mitchell, and this is from the Shade Room, by the way, attended reunification therapy with his children, ex-wife, and therapist in 2012. The former couple ended their relationship in 2005 after tying the knot in 1999. 2005 was allegedly the first time Kel Mitchell had seen his children, Allure and older brother Lyric, in 6 years. However, court docs say the father actively attempted to get visitation rights for several years after the split. And so now he's going to explain what the reunification therapy session was like. So yes, it was really emotional to not see them in 6 years and to finally be able to see them. My son was upset and was hurt. Kel told the judge, "My daughter was also as well. They will look straight out the window and not at me. And they said they don't want to see you. We have a father." So clearly, while the kids were estranged from the father, they were being indoctrinated against their actual father to no behest of his own, because he didn't have any control over seeing them. They seemed very hurt though, and I told them that I've been trying to see them for years, and without talking about their mother, telling them that I love them, and my number's here if you want to reach me. Here it is, and I'm here for you, and I love you, and you might not feel this way later. And to top it off, while in court in November 2012, Kel's lawyer accused Hampton, that would be his wife, of doing what she wants to do without consequence, including missing court dates. So I'm going to let you listen to about a 1.5 minute segment, but he was in a situation where he wanted to see his kids, and he just couldn't because, simply put, his divorced wife was not cooperating. Even under the agreement that was decided. And so here he is, estranged from his two children who hate their father just because of divorce. Now, in his own words.
Kids in, and I was thankful to Christ that he did that. God moved in that. He definitely did. Now here's the part where your faith has to really work. Okay, so I had been praying to see my kids, for a long time. And I finally got to see them. So I'm all excited. I got gifts. I'm walking in. Now, this has happened before and they hadn't shown up. But this time they were actually there. Now, I got my gifts and everything. And I walk into the room and they're not looking at me. you know, and my son, he's handsome. My daughter, looking very pretty, and it was just like, I haven't seen him in so many years. I wanted to just hug him and, you know, just speak the word over him, just hang out and just, you know, talk about old times, talk about new times, what they've been going through in their lives now. And it didn't turn out that way. Like, literally, my son did not look at me and said, you know, I don't want to talk to you, you know. And I asked him why. And he turned to me and said, you abandoned us. And I don't want you in our lives. I don't want you around. And that definitely hurt. Hurt to the core, because I never abandoned them. When I divorced my ex-wife, I didn't divorce my children. You know, visitation was going just fine until things started going awry, where she didn't want to bring them anymore. And then we had to fight in the court system. And literally, it was like...
Now, you see that, right? Technically, it doesn't matter what the reason they divorced for. That has nothing to do with it. The legal agreement was decided that he has a right to see his kids on a schedule. And all of a sudden, his divorced wife stopped adhering to the schedule. And here this man is, Hollywood movie star, cannot see his children. Can't see them. And then when he finally gets a chance to see them, they have been indoctrinated to hate him. And so when I hear people like Hafiz on here telling people what there's a reason to get married, listen, dude, this can happen any day. Any day your wife can walk out and say, nah, I'm cool. And until there's some level of enforcement, you're going to keep hearing stories like this. If this is happening to Kel Mitchell, come on, man.
I've been fighting for you for the last 6 years to see you and your sister. And it hurt, you know, but I had to realize that what they've been going through, and because of choices back in the day, like, you know, having kids unequally yoked and all the sin that was going on in the first place, that they were dealing with that, you know. I realized that, look, I have to just respond in love. And I know before I went, my pastor had told me, Kel, respond in love. And that's what I did. I told him, look, I said, you might feel that way now.
Does this sound like a bad father to you? This seems like the kind of guy that should not be able to see his children after a divorce, where the courts had made a decision where there is going to be, at least, if not shared custody, there's going to be an established routine for both parents to see the children. Does this sound like a guy that should not be able to see his children to the point where his children are in the mediation room, not even looking him in the eye, saying, we don't need you?
But if you change your mind, I'm here. You can call me. Here's my phone number. You know, you can call me at any time, and I love you, and I will always love you, and I love your sister as well. And I saw a change in both of them at that point. It was just these emotions that were going on, and to the point where my son left out of the room because he realized the things that he had been hearing or what he thought about me was not true, and that I did love him and I wanted to be in his life. And so, you know, at that point, my daughter followed him out of the room too. And then I'm sitting in there by myself with the therapist. And then the therapist walks off to check on them. And I'm in the room by myself, literally just bawling, crying. And
now, again, what did he do wrong? What did he do to deserve this? He did not do anything to deserve this. His wife woke up one day and said, I don't want to be married to you anymore, or whatever the case. They decided that mom and dad get divorced. Why can't the kids still see their father? And so you can see that this experience has transformed this man. Now, he talked about living in sin in the past. He's clearly a different person now. Whatever went on in the past, but the way that he's embraced Christianity, you can tell that this ordeal has really tested him.
At that point, you would think like, okay, give up. I'm not giving up on my kids. Just like God doesn't give up on us. You know, God is our Father. He's the...
And you hear it. He's not going to give up on his kids. So you hear this whole saga about men that don't want to take care of their kids. This is a married man who wanted to take care of his kids and he could not. So from Kel's monologue to this conversational valuetainment today.
Perspective, what is Hafiz not recognizing?
Have you heard Rollo say that men and women are better together than they are apart? Because
you said, have I heard Rollo say what?
He says that men and women are better together than they are apart.
Okay.
I think a lot of guys believe in the institution of marriage, just not the legal side of it.
Now that is true. I think if you ask the majority of guys, most guys would just want the relationship that probably they saw their grandfathers or your great grandfathers have. You know, most guys probably don't even want to marry supermodels. You just want to marry someone that's going to be a life partner that you're going to share your experiences with, raise a family with. And that previously was the institution of marriage. And now that's become something different because you don't have to get married to have kids. People having kids before they get married. People are not saving themselves for marriage. So marriage is just this kind of outdated institution these days.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
like, I just don't think that's true. I think they say there's no benefits legally, not like as an institution.
So unpack that a little bit.
So I'm saying men and women are better together. Marriage is a good thing, but the way it's set up today just doesn't benefit men. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. 90% of men don't get custody of their kids in a divorce.
Right. We talked about that yesterday. These are just stats, not my opinion. Women initiate 70% of divorces. That goes up to 90% if they're college educated. Women get the kids 90% of the time. They was it 90% of the time they're getting the ones getting alimony. I don't have those exact stats that we talked about yesterday. But with anything.
Okay, and then he's going to talk about some other things, but think about those numbers he just said. And even if he's erring on the high side, I don't know, cut the numbers by 2/3 or by a third. And instead of 90%, it's 60, or it'd be like 55%-ish, right? Of marriages were being ended. And of course, it's not that number according to what he's saying, but even if it's north of 50%, it's still a lot. And it's just, you can hear in that interview with Kel, or in that monologue, that this process broke him. He even spoke in the video about how he maybe considered, not being here anymore. And all things considered, man, it's just, we're in a new age where a whole generation of young guys are having to understand that what you saw with your parents and your great grandparents, that's over. It's over. And the only thing is, you can either go somewhere else where people are still trying to do something a little bit traditional, or you just got to make peace with the fact that you're just going to be alone for the rest of your life. Unfortunate reality, but I don't think being alone for the rest of my life is worse than not being able to see my children. With that said, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll catch you in the next video. Later, guys.